Hello, Quentin Brown here with another tutorial, and this time we're going to look at WordPress as a system. But before we do, I thought I'd just demystify some of the internet for you. One of the things you need to realize is that everything on the internet is a web page. What denotes what it's called is the system that web page is built with. Now, web pages can be built with desktop software such as Dreamweaver, FrontPage, etc. These are usually what we call static sites. In other words, they don't change a great deal. When we build a web page with an online system like WordPress, Joomla, etc., it's what we call a dynamic website. In other words, it uses a database to deliver the web page. And these are usually a lot more powerful than the static web pages. As I said, what builds the website in the first place determines usually what it's called. And so if you use WordPress and build a web page using their posting system, it's called a blog. If you build a web page highlighting products and services using e-commerce, usually they're called a shopping cart. Whichever system you use, you're still creating web pages. Now, there are really only four things that make up a web page. There's text, graphics, media, and scripts. Now, search engines only see text. So once we start adding graphics, we need to add some text to that graphic, and we call that an alt text, and it describes the image or the graphic on the website and allows search engines to see it. Media is such things as video, audio, flash, etc. And scripts are the things that allow interactivity, such as contact forms, e-commerce, commenting on pages, etc. And these scripts are developed to allow the person to interact with the web page. As I said, the program determines the style. And in this tutorial, we're going to be looking at the WordPress program, which can be run either as a blogging system or a content management system, which can include the blogging system as well. And we're going to show you that and make it very easy to understand for you. Now, everything we write in our text is driven by keywords. And it's not just individual keywords, but key phrases. When you go on the net, I'm sure you just don't usually type in one word. Quite often you'll type in a key phrase. So if you were looking for a printer cartridge for your printer, you might put down toner cartridge and then the model of your printer to get the best search results. And so when we're writing our text, we need to be aware of what people are typing in to be able to find our products and services. And we did this in some of the previous tutorials when we looked at keyword research. And these keywords drive our content, which bring people to our site. So content then drives traffic. Unfortunately, most businesses have what we call a static website that never changes and never adds any new content. And consequently, the search engines come and look at it and rank them down the bottom of the search results because search engines are looking for content. And so the more content you add to your site on a regular basis, the better ranking your site will achieve. So what is a blog? A blog is simply a system by which you create a number of web pages which are then chronologically listed on one page. And we call this posting. However, as I said before, you're simply creating a web page. It's just the way that it's presented, which then means it's called a blog. A CMS is what we call a content management system. And this allows you to add static pages as well as include the blogging system within one site. So it becomes very powerful. The reason we use WordPress is it allows us to install plugins. And remember, we talked about scripts before, that websites contain text, graphic, media and scripts. Well, plugins are simply scripts that are written that allow you to create this interactivity and add versatility. And we'll have a little look at those as well. The main thing we want to show you is how blogging and a content management system can help your business. And the fact is, Google loves WordPress. So let's go look at a content management system including a blogging system and show you its power. Remember, at the very beginning of this series, we were going to take a site called Sunlight Electrical and just change it around a little bit to make it a lot more effective. And so here it is, the completed site. Now the customer wanted it to be fairly similar, so we haven't changed a great deal. And so here we have what we call their static pages. We used a plugin to create their contact form, and this is what we call a script. Now I didn't have to write this plugin, it was a free plugin I could add to the system. And so what these plugins allow us to do is add a whole lot of different functionality without actually having to know a lot about programming. But here's the power of this system, and that is the blog. They hadn't added any content to their site in the last couple of years, so consequently they weren't getting any results at all from the search engines. And so let's just go have a look at how powerful this is. So I'm just going to take the top heading here and put it in as a search. And here we can see they're at the top of the search engines for that particular search phrase out of 649,000 results. Now remember, we couldn't find anything about automatic doors, etc. for their site previously, so they now have a listing with that blog post. So then we can also target very specific keywords by using our heading. So here again we see that they are number one for automatic doors for the elderly out of 59,200 results. And so we can target very specific keywords and key phrases for your business. So here is another site, exactly the same. We took their original site, turned it into a content management system with all these static pages, and we included this blog again. And so if we take this term here and do a search for it, we'll see they come up number one out of 8,410. As you post more and more content, you will see that we can then start taking out some of these words that aren't really attributed to the product, and we can see now if you put in best tyre for your Commodore, and this is Australian spelling because they're an Australian company, you can see they're still getting number one listing out of 72,100 results. It will also start to pick up content out of the post and give us a ranking for it. So just new Commodore tyres. We can see we're not number one, however, we are on the front page, number 1, 2, 3, number 4, sorry. So that's the power we get from using the blog in the website to target all sorts of keywords, products and services for your business. Let's just go in quickly and have a look why this happens. So here we're looking at the system we use to create posts and pages. As you can see on the side here, I've done a post. Pages work exactly the same. So what makes up a post or a page? First thing is we need a good title. And you'll notice here the title has become the actual web page. When we're doing pages, obviously we can't use long titles because we'd run out of space. So for the individual web pages, we just use very short titles. Next part we have is the content. And here it is here. And we've used our keyword a number of times in here. Our keyword here is Commodore tyres. And so you'll notice it, I've used it in a number of places. In this particular post, I also did the more tag, which hides this second bit of information here and puts in a more title. And I've listed all the Commodore models there. So when we actually look at the post, you actually don't see those in the blog part, you only see it in the full post. So if we go to the blog, you'll notice it doesn't show those models. You'd have to click the read more information. So this makes up our body. It's just text. Remember, I said you need to have a lot of text. We've got a graphic and we've put in some alt text over the graphic, and we put in our keyword there, and we've got a call to action. So to get your quote on new Commodore tyres, contact the seller. Now all web pages and posts, blogs, forums, shopping carts, etc. basically use the same system. Now that's the web page, but WordPress does so much more. Here we've also added a category for our post. We've also added some tags down here for our post. And then we've got a script running here called the All-in-One SEO Pack. And we've put in the title, we've put in a little bit of information about the post, and then we've listed some more keywords in the bottom here. But that's not as far as WordPress goes. It will also create an RSS feed and include that post. So we can then submit this as a RSS feed to different search engines. We've also, in one of our plugins here, and this is all done automatically. So in one of our plugins here, it's listed it in the sitemap and then told Google that we've added a new post. Now, obviously doing this can take a fair bit of time, and there is a little bit of craft in creating your post and your pages. So if you're not confident in doing this, please feel free to contact the person who sent you this video, and we'll help you set up a complete content management system with all these features, plus help do your posts for you. My name's Quentin Brown. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and we'll see you in the next one.